This game. You only want to play the older worlds. Ooh. Oh yeah, I wanted to go into settings. Let's see. Hmm. Oh man, I wanted to change something. I really want to talk and drop weapon to him to be on different buttons, but I guess that's not happening.
Something got you down?
Nothing. Just don't want to fall sick.
Taste the freedom. Well, that is not correct. Better than nature. Oh. Whoa! Parvati, come on. So we don't have any problems here, I guess?
Move along, stranger. We don't want any trouble.
Oh.
I don't know you. Whatever you're looking for, it ain't here. Move along.
What's your problem?
Armed strangers wandering into my camp for one. Some of my camp wandering out for another.
Who's been wandering out of your camp?
Got anything in you besides questions? No, I'm sorry. That was unworthy of me. Lady named Zoe went missing some nights ago. Just up and vanished without a trace. Now I'm pacing around wondering if marauders got to her.
Probably. I could always go looking for her.
I go looking for Zoe, I leave the camp undefended, seeing as I'm the only one of us who knows her way around a gun. Hence my dilemma.
Any idea where she might be hiding?
vex me. If she told anybody, they ain't telling me. I'd check her room, but I got yelled at for snooping once already.
Well, I'll keep an eye out.
It's not like Zoe to go wandering. Figured she might be out scavenging, but that ain't exactly her talent. Can't imagine where she's gone. Vale's a wide place. She could be anywhere.
Don't worry about it.
Appreciate it. Honest.
Okay, where can I find Adelite?
Over in the hothouse, tending crop.
Okay, thank you. I'm not getting on my nerves then. Oops. I'm sorry.
You hungry? We got canid ribs, canid flank, canid snout too. Something I can help you with?
I'm told one of your numbers gone missing.
You mean Zoe? Yeah, we were pretty close. Not like her to go loping off.
Tell me a little about her.
Zoe was always obsessed with this cereal. Masked Marketeer. A scion of Byzantium turns to banditry and teaches his marauder companions the wisdom of free market economics. Shame she up and vanished when she did. I had a surprise lined up for her. You sound like some type of corporate fixer asking all these questions.
What happened on a day Zoe disappeared?
Zoe and I were gonna watch the serials, as is our custom. She never turned up. I looked around, but she was nowhere to be found.
Was she acting strange?
Can't say I recall Zoe ever acting strange. Well, except for her habit of writing things down on scraps of paper. She called it journaling, but I think it's just plain odd.
What was that about surprising her?
The other day I got my hands on a genuine copy of the latest Masked Marketeer. I was gonna surprise Zoe with it, but she was gone the next day. Hey, I got time.
Something else.
Fresh off the limb, and that includes canid meat.
I can sell some stuff. Okay then. Yay. Well, today's the day, Zoe. Today is the day you take your destiny onto your own hands. I've been listening to Grace talk about the marauder threat, bands of wild, free-spirited bandits living in camps out in the hills, warming themselves by the light of barrel fires, probably mounted the heads of the enemies on spikes as a warning to folk like me. Living a life of comfort and ease, free of any rules. I bet they could take the whole region if they were organized. I've been tucking away at some of Idolite foods and I've got some spare cans of soy tuna. Should last me a couple of weeks if I ration. Got some Adrian time too. Adrena time. Everybody loves Adrena time, even Maras, right? I got the odds those marauders will let me throw in with them if I dangle a couple syringes of Adrena time before their eyes. This is gonna be great. Look out, Terra2. Bandit Queen Zoe's origin story has just begun. I'm gonna have a whole gang of marauders at my back and call. Maybe I can even score some Rizos? So that's it then. No more edge wall for me, no more cannery, no more jumpsuits and gloves. Yes ma'am, would you like another? I don't know why I'm writing this down for prosperity's sake, because I have always hated cannery and don't think I've ever have to look back to this journal many years hence. Tell myself, oh wow, I did hate the way once, didn't I? Just because I got sick, everybody gets sick. Well, okay, I got sick and I grabbed a little too much Adrena time. Is that really a crime? I gotta treat myself when I'm sick, don't I? Whatever happened to personal responsibility in surviving by one's own bootstraps? Oh, but you misappropriate one box of Adrena time and suddenly you're committing larceny. Okay then. Sure. £10, okay. Science 50 should be okay. $60. Yeah. Great special abilities and stuff, eh? Oh well, at least she didn't get very far.
Sure. This'll be quick. Down they go! Got him! Everyone all right?
Give me that gun.
Sure. On my way.
Bracelet, that's good. Oh, that's the best. Great. Everything I ever wanted. Oh. Hmm. You're actually right about that. Well, that was like okay. Oh, I completely forgot to actually use that.
I don't know anybody who ever came out this far.
Time for looting. Give me all your stuff. All your stuff. All your stuff. Give me all your stuff. All your stuff. All your stuff. All your stuff. Interesting. Okay then, let's actually talk to you.
Wow, you crossed them all off, like some sort of heroic accountant running down a list. Teach me your ways.
Well, not for free.
Oh, well that's a shame. I mean, I could pay you in Adrena time, but I've already bartered most of my stash over to these poor saps. You, on the other hand, you were a sight to behold. If I had half your skills, I'd be the greatest outlaw the coast has ever seen.
I need you to clarify something for me.
I'm great at clarifying.
How are you even alive?
I don't know. The vital processes that constitute the miracle of life are mysterious and unknowable. Oh, you mean around these guys? The Marauders wouldn't hurt me. They love me. I'm practically their queen. Yeah, must be my natural charisma.
How you pull that off?
I may have bartered them a few boxes of Adrena time, but yeah, I'm sure that's got nothing to do with it.
Okay, why did you leave camp?
I got kicked out of Edgewater on account of falling sick with plague and stealing some medicine to treat myself. I'd heard some outlaws set up camp in the botanical labs. I decided to throw in with them, seeing as I always wanted to be an outlaw myself. Instead, what do I find but a bunch of former workers camped out around a greenhouse? I couldn't just go back to the cannery, so I was stuck with them.
Okay, that was something else actually.
I've got all the time in Halcyon.
I've been sent to find you.
Why? Adelaide wants me back on garden duty or something? Thanks, but I'm not going anywhere. This is where I belong.
That's pretty stupid.
I doubt that. Nobody in that camp really cared about me.
Well, what about Stefan? You two were friends.
Yeah, I suppose you're right. Also, he could carry on a conversation, unlike these hooligans. I'll take my stuff and head on back, I suppose. Grace is gonna be glaring knives at me, so I've got that to look forward to.
We'll take care then. How do we look? 69, 53. That's bad. I see. Oh, my cat. One moment. Be right back. Bunny. Okay. Time to resume. This game is so great. I love it so much. It's so much fun to run around, talk to people and shoot people. Because that's what I'm good at. It's my true calling, you could say. Hey, Craze.
What is it? We didn't always get along, but I'm glad to know she's safe. What happened anyway?
I'm going to lie. Something about wanting to be an outlaw. I'd rather not get into it.
You pretty much did my job for me. Least I could do is pay you for your trouble. Let me know if I can do something for you.
Well, not really. But we'll see when I talk to your commander. Boss.
Oh gosh, it's so pretty.
It's okay.
If you're hungry, there's meat turning on the spit outside. If you're bearing illness, find a place to lay your head down and I'll fetch you a poultice. Whatever your troubles with Edgewater, leave them at the gates and be welcome. Any questions, dear?
Well, you must be Adelite.
I have been called that, among other things. Green Thumb, grandmother, the strange old lady who keeps flowers. But yes, Adelaide will do just fine.
Excuse me, Miss McDevitt? Sorry, it's just... You got such pretty trees in here.
Why, thank you. You're Robert's girl, aren't you? I remember when you were but a sprout. Thomas speaks of you often. Are you staying long? You should try some of my tobaccorn tea. I brew it in an old spittoon, but it's been cleaned.
No thanks. Well, Reed sent me to make peace with you.
Reed Thompson? You here on behalf of that cold-eyed reptile? Let's hear it. What's Reed's idea of peace, then?
Well, Reed's asked you consider coming back to town. He's willing to make amends.
Make amends? Spare me. Only thing Reed knows how to make is a mess. Like everything else that comes out of Edgewater, that peace offering is canned. I and my own are living just fine out here by ourselves.
Well, Reed asked me to divide your power over to him. He mentioned a geothermal plant.
He would do such a thing. The question is, why would you agree to his plans?
Well, your camp has a power regulator. I need to repair my ship.
Cannery's got a regulator. You want ship parts, you ought to rip them out of the cannery's guts and leave us be. If you're going down to the plant, you should divert power away from Edgewater and toward our end of the grid. Think about it. You'd be liberating an entire town from a lifetime of service to that odious cannery. Seems the sort of thing a hero would do.
What have you got against the town?
You've seen that miserable excuse for a town with your own lamps. Hollowed out workers laboring their lives away at the cannery, living off whatever scraps Spacer's Choice throws them. You know that's true, don't you, Ms. Holcomb? Your father died of overwork. His heart gave out.
He was tired all the time, sure, but he was old, ma'am, and he raised me all by his lonesome.
And you're not very bright.
What they did to this child. Lost her family to the company and still...
She's a good worker, though. I don't much like you throwing that in your face to get me on your side.
I'm alright. I ain't so fragile.
That was unkind of me. I'm sorry, dear.
What do you have against people trying to make a living?
It's not much of a living. Every single person in that town has sold themselves to Spacer's Choice. The company owns them. Body, blood, and bones. You've been there. You've seen it. All anyone ever does is toil over a cannery. They give their lives for some heartless corporation, and then they're tossed into a Spacer's Choice brand cemetery.
Well, let's say I'll help you. What happens to Edgewater?
Life in Edgewater grinds to a halt. The cannery shuts down, workers desert in droves, and our own little camp grows and thrives.
You think Reed's just trying to spite you?
You bring power to Reed's town and you'll be killing us. Reed knows it. He's counting on it.
I'll consider it.
trust you will listen to your conscience.
Oh.
Oh, that's Thomas. He used to follow me around before he left the cannery.
Oh, didn't see you there. I was just occupying myself with a little engineer.
Isn't that nice?
Whoa, Miss Parvati. Hey, you're, what, how are you? Hi. Hello.
Are you, are things safe out here? How are you keeping?
Great, just great. I've been trying to keep stuff running, just like you. Only I'm not so... Wait, they didn't kick you out, did they?
Nah.
Oh gosh, no, I'm just along with this fella here.
Are you from town? I mean, you don't exactly look like you're from town.
I'm just trying to get my ship up ground.
Never heard it phrased in such a way before. I guess we're all trying to get our ships off the ground, ain't we? Sorry, I just wasn't sure if you were from town or if you were one of us. Something's been chewing at me, you see. Fact is, I've been, well, lying. To everybody here. Camp thinks I'm a mechanical genius, but I couldn't fix a busted chair.
Well, never too late to start learning. I could give you a couple pointers.
I'll take all the help I can get. I set my mind to learning the craft of the engineer, you see. I want to make something of myself. You ever heard of the Young Spacer's Guide to Mechanical Engineering? Comes in a set of 3. If I had my hands on one of those data pads, I could teach myself the ins and outs.
Those are good. My dad kept a copy with him when he was working in the cannery.
I know the old community center kept a copy. Should find another one back in town. If you could find me even one of those pads, I'd be greatly obliged.
Well, you mentioned 2 pads. What about the 3rd?
I wish I knew. I wagered the town had the full set once upon a time. Where the 3rd's gone, I can't say.
Well, I expect a fair price for my trouble.
I'll pay you for every pad you bring me. If, by some miracle, you can bring me the full set, I'll give you something pretty I've been saving for a lucky day.
I'll let you know if I find anything.
I'd be grateful. What's on your mind?
Never mind then. Okay, so we have the moral choice of either helping those guys or fucking him over. No, come on, I already cleared that. I just want my book and then I'm out. Okay, volume 2. That's actually good, because I wanted to talk to that guy anyway. Oh god.
If you could see your way to getting us our power back, I'd appreciate it.
I wanted to talk to you.
Go ahead.
Have you taken a look around your town lately?
It is my job to keep two eyes on my town. I am the steward of this place, and this is my watch post.
Well, your town is falling to pieces.
I wish you wouldn't say things like that.
Doesn't make it any less true.
I expect you wouldn't understand. You don't see the town as I do. When I stand at my window and look out over my town, here's what I see. I see decent, loyal, hard-working people. I see a family. We are all part of the Spacer's Choice family. We are all doing what we were brought into this world to do.
How long have you worked here?
I'm trying to remember 25 years, 26. When you get to my age, the years just rush by. You stop counting altogether. I remember looking out this window and seeing the veils spread out from horizon to horizon. We were a sprawling town. We were... Times change, people change, but the veil will always be here. Spacer's Choice will always be here. Our work won't ever end. I take comfort in that.
Well, you're loyal.
This is a Spacer's Choice town. We're all part of the Spacer's Choice family here. The company keeps us warm, keeps us fed, keeps us working. Loyalty's got nothing to do with it, friend. This is good old-fashioned gratitude. Go ahead.
We need to have a word about this sickness.
Can we not? Talking about unpleasant things always gets my bile up.
You must have some kind of treatment plan.
Show up to work, put in your hours, wear a smile. Problems of the body come from problems of the spirit. Work improves the spirit and fortifies the body.
You know what helps? Antibiotics.
And where do you suggest we find this magical panacea? Can we pan for medicine in the stream? Medicine is a rare and precious commodity. If you demonstrate you have earned the right to be treated, you will be treated. Otherwise, you must heal yourself.
You withhold medicine from your own workers.
If I had enough medicine to treat everyone who fell sick, I would, but I don't. I can't save everyone. So I have to choose.
That can't be easy.
It is not easy for me. And the moment it becomes easy is the moment I am no longer fit to serve. Spacer's Choice is a family. And the survival of the family is more important than the survival of the individual.
How long has that been going on?
That I cannot say. There was no moment when the plagues began. Disease always lurks on the fringes of society, waiting to infect the idle and the lethargic. But in the last 10 years, the plagues have become progressively worse and increasingly frequent.
Well, you should have developed an immunity.
Corporate doesn't like us using the word should. It encourages the imagination. I believe plague is a test. It is a test of our loyalty and our fortitude, and it is one we will see through to the end. Go ahead.
Well, that didn't work out.
Yeah, huh?
Thomas seemed very fond of you.
He's just interested in fixing stuff. He always used to follow me around, asking me to explain what I was doing. Like a puppy, kinda.
I've not lately seen a man with a bigger and more obvious crush.
I'm just glad he's alive. That he's okay. I mean, when Mr. Thompson said he was fired, we all expected the worst. If he wants to learn about engineering, we should help him get those data pads he wants. I'd like to do that for him.
I wanted to talk about something.
In the bar? When I asked if you were a drinker?
You sounded worried.
Sorry. I know, it's none of my business.
I'm going to guess you're not a drinker yourself.
Strong drink makes me sick. And it makes me real sad. I start thinking about things I oughtn't, and then... Well, never mind that. You got better things to think on. Sorry.
I'm happy to listen.
I'm sorry, I shouldn't have said anything.
Okay then. Okay, where the last one is, I don't know. Well, I guess not then. One way or another. Don't really know what to do. But we definitely need capital. So I'm thinking of, well, screwing with these people. I don't like that sound.
I always wanted to poke around in here. Here we go. Nice one.
Processing.
Watch out! Don't mess with us.
Hmm. From the planet to your living room.
The control room should be off to the right. I hope with
Oh, that's some bad comp.
doing the right thing.
Oh, I always hope that.
You took one down!
Okay.
Make
Okay, so that's her special. Claims made against the profitability. Well, all of that is pretty bad. Do they have conditions? Kinda. So there isn't much to do here. Okay, that didn't work.
3 switches. That'll be easy enough.
Are we sure about that?
Here we go!
Noise.
Here goes nothing! No hard feelings, okay?
Hmm.
Here I go! It's nothing personal, I swear.
Finally, we got some of this good stuff.
There's 2 more. What'll happen to Miss McDevitt's folk if we send power to the Vale?
You're not real. You're not real.
Oh, I am here. Where are you, though? I want to talk to you.
Go away, Phantom. No, no, no. Just leave me alone.
There you are. Okay.
Mind the steam. You're liable to get scalded.
Oh, dick.
Look out!
Maintenance
one.
required.
Everyone all right? Where'd they go? If we send the power to Miss McDevitt, what happens to the veil?
System.
Here they come!
Trespassers.
That's the last. I'm not sure what the right is. Alls I know is the decision's final.
Well, I know the moral right decision, which I'm not going to take. Because they're not paying me.
Get away!
I still gotta talk to that guy.
No, 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 just leave me alone. You're not real. You're not real. Get away from me, Phantom.
Oh,
Shoot.
I am real. Not trying to hurt you.
Talk? The Phantom's never talked before. Oh, I knew I shouldn't have eaten that sprat raw. See? See, Higgins? This is why you must always boil your sprats before ingesting.
Slow down, tell me what's going on.
Clearly, I mistook you for one of the phantoms of my imagination, which terrorize me on occasion.
Yeah, that happens.
Chester D. Higgins. The D stands for definitely not. I use it as
Yeah.
a reminder.
How have you been down here?
Hard to say. By my reckoning, Higgins has been here somewhere between 2 weeks and forever. My recollection's a touch fuzzy these days.
Uh-huh. What exactly do you do here?
Oh, Higgins has been many things over the years. Sprat Wrangler, Saltuna Critic, Aetherwave Personality, Chairman of the Board, Galactic Defender, Sisty Pig Tycoon. I've come a long way for someone who started off as a simple engineer right here in this plant.
What happened to this place?
Mechanicals lost their bolts. Opened fire on anything that moved. It was pandemonium.
How could this have happened?
You mean, why did the Mechanicals go on a murderous rampage? Same reason any of us do, I suppose. The voices told them to do it. I was on cleaning duty at the time. My old boss had me scrubbing pipes when the killing started. So, as usual, I missed out.
Well, you mentioned being an engineer.
I specialized in automechanicals, drones, sentries, repaired them, maintained, upgraded.
Oh, does he have
Did
the
it
third
at my
book?
old workroom, just over in the next section.
You must know a way to stop them.
Look, I don't want to fall into any trouble with the Mechanicals. If they wise up to our plans, they will come for us. With prodding irons.
I can deal with them.
You know, you remind me of myself back when I was an intergalactic adventurer. I discovered a flaw. Their hostility levels were hardwired to maximum. There's no changing that, but you could rewrite their targeting protocol so they attack each other instead.
Well, someone tampered with it.
Yes, that's exactly it. I see you're also versed in the noble art of mechanical engineering. There's a behavior control terminal in the other room. It should have options to change how the mechanicals act, including whom they shoot at. Oh, that reminds me. You'll need my passcode to access the behavior control terminal. Here, let me just write it down for you. Funny thing, I was working on a logic module just before the mayhem started. Security chief found me and confiscated the logic module. The tail. Definitely start with the tail. If you're feeling adventurous, the ears are a particular delicacy.
Actually, hang on.
Forgot what you were gonna say? Me too.
Bye. I think I killed every robot in here, but, well. Never too late to try. Oh. Oh, that's that, okay. Die robot.
No problem. I'll head over. I'm going. Heading back. Something you need?
Nah. Well, I can get in there.
Once we do this, there's no going back.
For capital.
Hey, mister? Look, I know you want your power regulator and all, but I just gotta ask.
Yeah.
Do you understand what you're about to do?
Okay, let's talk about it.
I don't think you should cut off Edgewater's power. I think it would be cruel. I'm sorry. That just sort of came out all at once. Edgewater's hurting. We've been losing workers year after year, and corporate hardly ever sends replacements. There's barely enough Saltuna to fill our bellies anymore. But the town's got some good people in it. Decent, hard-working folk just living their lives the only way they know how. They don't deserve to be punished.
Well, I see a point. Reed tells me Edgewater's going to die without workers in power.
That sure sounds like Mr. Thompson. If he was standing here, I imagine he'd remind us of how we're all one big, happy Spacer's Choice family. In Mr. Thompson's eyes, those deserters are still part of the Spacer's Choice family. The family must work together in order to survive. I hate to say it, but I think Mr. Thompson's got a point. Unless those deserters come back...
Okay, so there's not really a morally
dead.
right decision.
Cutting off their power might be the only way. Sorry, I didn't mean to babble on like that. I felt like I had to say something.
I'm glad you did.
Really? I mean, wow. Thanks. No one's ever told me those words in that order.
Oh, wow. Something to look at. I'm sure they will be so happy. I really don't know what that even is. Because I don't have nothing where I have like 20 of. Okay then. Sorry, I have to go back. I have to check something. There has to be a terminal or some kind because he told me about a terminal. I can't remember that. Didn't dream it, huh? Or maybe that just means I can't pick the door. Okay, maybe. There was that security offer. Well, doesn't matter.
I think you did the rightest thing you could sending the power back to Edgewater. A lot of people would have suffered otherwise. People I care for. Even if they ain't care much for me.
Ah, you're a good worker. Okay, time to convince them to come back and probably leave this planet for good. Oh, I guess your power is out, eh?
Food's bound to spoil at this rate.
Everybody keeps staring at me. It's not my fault the power's dead.
Here's the data pad.
No kidding. Really? Well, which one?
Part 1.
Look at that. Building a computing machine out of Spectrum potatoes, a primer. I'm just glad it survived all these years. I appreciate you going through all that trouble. One data pad's enough to guide me down my newfound path. Just remember, I got something saved for you if you find me all 3.
One more.
Well, don't keep me in suspense. Ain't that just ironical? If I'd worked a little longer back at the cannery, I might have found this myself. 2 whole data pads? Be still my beating heart. Oh, almost forgot your payment. What's on?
Never mind then.
Zoe says she fought her way out of a marauder camp with her own bare hands.
I don't know what you did to talk some sense into.
Okay, you all like me, that's great. Sorry I fucked you over.
Home is where the heart is. Marauders took that saying a little too literally.
Okay, time to pack it up.
That's the thing about growing old. Your eyes start to fail. Elsewise, I would have seen you for the snake that you are, chopped you into pieces and roasted you on a spit. This is all you're doing. Cutting off my power, killing off my garden. Without refrigeration, my food will spoil, and my flock will starve. I want to ask you this in private, away from the eyes of my flock, so they do not see me lose my temper. Tell me, why did you do it?
Well, Reed needs his people back.
You want my flock wasting their lives in that cannery? Fine. Go and talk to them. Go talk to Grace and Thomas. Look them in the eye and tell them their life here is over, and the only thing left to do is go back to Edgewater. This is now your responsibility. And you tell Reed Thompson that I will never return to Edgewater. I would rather die among my flowers than live under his management.
All this anger had to come from somewhere.
My son worked in that cannery. When the plague started coming, he was one of the first to fall sick. We had a store of medicine locked away, but Reed refused to treat him. Said my boy didn't deserve treatment. Said the medicine would have been wasted.
Oh no.
So I buried my boy in the cemetery, gathered my belongings, and left. That's as much of the story as you need to hear.
Well, I'm willing to deal with Reed for you.
You offering to cross Reed off, huh? This some sort of twisted reparation for what you've done? Or you just looking for a chance to sow some chaos? Kill Reed if you must, or talk him into leaving if you can. He and I are not sharing the same 4 walls together.
Well, he isn't just going to leave.
Tell Reed that I can make his people healthy again. I can end their plague. Start a new garden right in the cannery. 3 square meals for every man and woman in Edgewater. Tell him how I've made the Vale bloom again. The soil has whispered its secrets to me, and I alone know how to breathe
Oh
life
god,
back
yeah.
into the earth.
Kinda crazy.
The secret is human corpses. I've been grinding them up in my fertilizer for
Wait, what?
years. Marauder, worker, don't matter much to me. The human body is rich with nutrients.
What happens when you run out of corpses?
Edgewater Cemetery's got corpses aplenty. Enough for a generation's worth of crops.
Well, that took a serious turn. Okay, first we're gonna talk him out of here. Maybe. I'm not so sure that my convincing is high enough for that, but well, why not? Hey,
This is a fine day, friend. Power flows through our town like a cool stream of water. I trust Adelaide's people have seen their way to reason. So, when can I expect them back at their posts?
well, I spoke to Adelaide. She won't come back as long as you're here.
Then we are at an impasse. Stewardship over this town has been entrusted to me by Spacer's Choice. I am not perfect. I have made my share of mistakes, but I have done my best for this town.
A change of leadership might be what this town needs.
I am a Spacer's Choice man. My father was a Spacer's Choice man. Edgewater may not look like much to some buttoned-up freelancer, but it is my home.
Well, Adelaide's people aren't getting sick with the plague.
I don't believe you. Plague's a reality of life. Best treatment is a good work ethic.
This town doesn't eat anything but salt tuna. Of course you're going to get sick.
You are disparaging our parent company, and it is not appreciated. We are a Spacer's Choice Saltuna cannery. We eat saltuna here, and only saltuna.
I'm pretty sure it's your food that's making you sick. You need Adelaide's garden.
I don't understand. You say Adelaide's growing her own food, but that should not be possible. The soil's gone sour. Company said as much. Our own botanists couldn't grow decent crops for us, so the company got rid of them and shut down the greenhouse.
Well, she's come back if you step down.
You will excuse me for being skeptical. How exactly is Adelaide growing crops in barren soil?
Look, Reed, all I know is that involves some really complicated math, and it works.
If Adelaide's found a way to feed her people and cure the plague, then she deserves this office more than I do. I won't stand in her way. My life here is ended. Give me a little time to settle my affairs. I'm sure Adelaide will be glad to see the back of me.
What are your plans?
A couple months ago, I might have put in for a transfer. It's a big colony. Spacer's Choice has other towns. Now, I couldn't show my face in any of them.
Why not?
No such thing as an honorable resignation. Suppose I could find a place outside the walls, or put in for early retirement.
You won't last a day.
I don't know. I could see myself lasting a week.
Well, you don't have to do this.
I do. Adelaide's found a cure for the plague, and she knows how to tend to crops. She's what this town needs.
Can't be easy.
I have always tried to do right by my town. It has never been easy.
Well,
Something you need?
okay. Dodge, block, lie, persuade. Oh, god damn it. Just going to fast travel there. I'm really glad I found the best option for everybody, I guess. Well, not for Reed, but who cares?
Look at that. The snake's come back.
Well, Reed is leaving.
I never thought I'd see the day that Reed Thompson abandoned his post. Suppose we all have a breaking point. Suppose it's time our flock made our way back to Edgewater. We must tend to what remains of the town and carry on with our lives as best we may. You're vexing to me, you know? Injuring us with one hand, helping us with the other. Here, I'm giving you something to leave us be. It's a ransom, you understand, not a reward.
Well, Edgewater is better off with you running the place.
You telling me you did all this just to put me in charge of Edgewater? Stranger, you are some kind of twisted. I might turn that old cannery into a garden. Got ourselves a whole cemetery bursting with bodies. I need some time to gather my personals. Long walk back to Edgewater. Got a considerable burden to carry.
Take care.
That was a good thing you did, Captain.
Oh, now I'm your
Bring the
captain.
Deserters and Edgewater folks back together. I hope you rest well on that.
Easy. Now I can leave this shithole.
Is this your ship? Oh my stars, she is just so handsome. Does she have a name yet? What's her drive model? Oh, gosh. Listen to me babbling. When I was in Edgewater, I dreamed of flying on a real ship.
Well, you're hired.
Working on a real engine. Belonging to a proper crew. I'm the only decent mechanic Edgewater's got, but every time I think of going back, I get this sinking feeling.
Well, I can understand not wanting to go back.
Oh, it's kind of you to say that. And you're right. I wasn't happy. I want to ask you something, and you can say no. But can I come with you? I could tend to your engine. I know my G-valves from my catalyzers, and I can keep your ship singing. And if you ever need a pair of eyes watching your back, I can do that too. What do you think?
Well, you just met me.
Yeah, I've been thinking about that. Edgewater was on the verge of collapse before you showed up. You sent them power, and now the town might see another season. And you talked Miss McDevitt into coming back to town. Maybe one day, Edgewater will have a garden where that cannery once stood. You ain't exactly a stranger anymore. You've done some kindness hereabouts. I wouldn't mind following somebody like that.
Well, pick a cabin.
Yes! I mean, thanks. You won't regret this, mister. Captain. I can call you Captain now. Ha! I got a captain.
Well, I certainly am looking forward to flying on a ship named the Unreliable. I'll just head upstairs and claim a room. I could spend hours reflecting on the secret workings of the universe. Little else in this colony offers such a relaxing pastime. So, tell me what's on your mind. I excel at confessional listening.
I'll think it over.
Captain, I have detected that Edgewater's power supply is now optimal. I applaud your willingness to invest your time in the local community. What can I do for you, Captain?
I have a power regulator.
Do you know how to install a power regulator?
Yes.
Outstanding, Captain. Your aptitude for engineering will prove invaluable in the event of another catastrophic engine failure. Our engine room is located behind you. Across the cargo bay, up the ladders. What can I do for you, Captain?
Installed it.
All systems are operating within acceptable parameters. I am prepared to bring the Unreliable into low-altitude orbit. This should prove an adequate test of our flight capabilities.
Okay, let's get out of here. Wait. Safety safe.
Welcome back, Captain. All systems are now...
Let's get out of here. Oh god, what a piece of shit.
We have received a communication request from Dr. Phineas Wells.
This better be quick.
Based on my initial calculations of Dr. Wells's personality, that seems highly unlikely.
Aha, there you are. Hale and hearty, and captain of your own ship. I see you're putting the Unreliable to good use. Shame about her former captain. Horrible way to die. How are you feeling, by the way? I lost track of you in that cave back there. Experiencing any, unnatural drippage? Perfectly normal side effect of thawing, I assure you.
I've been feeling a little lightheaded. Also, I can slow down time.
Oh, that, yes, that's probably permanent. I wouldn't worry about it, though. I'm sure you're fine. What you saw in Emerald Vale is happening all across the colony. Food shortages, lack of supplies, and basic necessities. We're dying. The chairman, the minister, and all their lackeys on the board are to blame. The Hope has some of the brightest minds Earth ever sent us. If we can revive the Hope's colonists, they can help us undo the board's mistakes. They can help us set things right. You need to get to Stellar Bay on Monarch. I have contacts there. They'll help me, help us, find the chemicals to revive your fellow colonists. Gladys Culkelly, lovely woman, runs a cozy little black marketing outfit on the Groundbreaker. She can get you a nav key to land on Stellar Bay.
Well, or I could have put a couple light years between me and Halcon.
Without a skip drive, good luck. You'll be dead before you make it to the nearest star. Look, I admire your optimism, but the sad truth is you're stuck here. You, me, and the rest of this colony. We're all skating precariously around the edge of oblivion together. None of us are leaving Halcyon alive, so we may as well make it a better place, and we can start by reviving the Hope.
How can I know I can trust this Gladys person?
Gladys and I have been doing business for years. Her smuggling credentials are unimpeachable. If anyone can get you a key to Monarch, it's her.
Fine.
Excellent. I'll send her a wireless. Let her know you're coming. By the way, I gave Captain Hawthorne a disguise apparatus of my own design, cutting-edge technology, years ahead of its time. I call it the Holographic Shroud. I'm sure it will prove remarkably useful to you. You'll find it in the captain's quarters.
You want to explain what that is?
Marvelous device. I'm quite proud of myself. The shroud changes the user's appearance to mimic that of another. It has limits. First-generation technology, you see, but promising. Exciting to see it in use at last. Very simply, the holographic shroud uses biometric information contained on standard identity cartridges to generate a holographic projection around you.
You mentioned this thing has limitations.
Only stands up to a casual scrutiny. Use it too long, bound to flicker, blur, something like that. Movement makes it more likely. Best used in moderation. When you see guards in your path you can't sneak past, for example. Maintain your distance. Act normal. No running, no jumping. Don't draw their attention. If they pay attention, they're more likely to notice flaws in the hologram.
I don't need a gadget for this. Could I steal a uniform or something?
A change of clothes. What is this? Some old spy serial? What inattentive and brainless guard would be fooled by such a shabby disguise? The holographic shroud masks not only your clothes, but your face and fingerprints. It modulates your voice and sweetens your breath.
Thanks.
Excellent. I'll contact you once you've found a way to get to Stellar Bay. If you have any questions, come see me in my lab. And remember, don't trust the board. They'll try to win you over with promises of wealth and power, but it's a lie. The board's only interested in filling their own pockets. If we don't put a stop to them, they're going to run this colony.
No, I'm going to take over the board.
Transmission ended. If you are ready to depart, please select a destination on your navigation terminal.
Got it. Alien decided to dreamed of an independent life without board oversight. You taught them an important lesson. Never dream. Wingman's wingman. Huh. Okay. It's not a petunia. Hey you, what's going on?
I find myself marveling at the complex simplicity of the Fibonacci spiral. I'm sure you know what that's like. Something vexing you, Captain?
Okay, what's your story?
Nothing too out of the ordinary. Just your run-of-the-mill vicar with a violently enthusiastic disposition.
Violently enthusiastic disposition?
That's what my parents called it. I grew up in a pit of a town much like Edgewater. I was destined to be a laborer like my parents, but I was infected early with a need to solve the equation. My passion didn't sit.
I can't believe that. Okay, why are you so passionate about it?
My parents, ironically. They internalized the precepts of scientism like no one I've ever known. They had a pure faith. A faith that brought joy to them regardless of the situation.
That's dangerous.
I envied that. I wanted that peace. I thought if I became a vicar, I could find it. Or at the very least, find out why I lacked it.
But weren't your parents proud when you became a vicar?
They thought I was fighting the plan, should have accepted my lot. Some people pursue the clergy for power, prestige, but that was not me.
What's this plan?
The simple version is this. The force which we call the Grand Architect created the universal equation that underlies and defines everything in the universe. Everything flows.
Okay, so everything is fate.
In layman's terms, the grand plan. Is the Grand Architect a consciousness? A natural force? Did it create the equation on purpose? The answers to these questions don't really matter. The equation, the plan, is all that matters. Contentment is found by accepting one's role in the plan.
Well, everything, yeah.
The plan is not one rigid path. There are a variety of multitudes contained within it. Our paths have variance, but we'll end up adhering to it whether we like it or not. Some choices make the path smoother, some rougher. You can even go outside the lines, but the further outside you go, it's like an unbreakable elastic band. It will only stretch so far before it snaps back. The further it is stretched, the more violent the eventual correction.
Oh, you can break through the cycles. Seems quite trusting of you to go with me.
I have run headlong into too many walls in my pursuit of the truth. This book is my last hope, and you were my only hope of getting it translated.
What if the book doesn't have the answers you're looking for?
I honestly don't know what I'd do. This quest has consumed me for the better part of my life. I fear there's nothing else left to me. What about you? What's your story?
I was a colonist on the Hope.
And how did he do that? Well, you do seem different than every other colonist. Let's pretend for the moment I believe you. What are you going to do now?
I'm turning him in.
Why would you turn on someone who saved you?
I'm more interested in getting paid.
Ah, a cold realist.
Any ideas where we can find someone who speaks French?
I've been thinking on that. There's a former infamous philosopher scholar who fled Terra 2 some years ago. He's an expert on Bakonu. He's also who told me of the journal's presence in Emerald Vale. If anyone in this colony could translate that book, it would be him.
But how do we find them?
That's a good question. We should start on the Groundbreaker. It's where I'd go if I wanted to get off Terra 2. Great place to pick up a ride to Hephaestus, Scylla, even Monarch. All I need is access to a data cartridge from the security terminal. Their easily hackable system keeps a registry of all crew manifests for both arrivals and departures.
Why are you a skilled hacker?
Before I transferred to Edgewater, I had a wealth of time to develop certain, secular skills during my years serving a particular penitentiary flock. I meditated, led sermons, provided guidance to the inmates as needed, of course. I also played prison yard tossball and taught myself a bit about computronic security systems.
Sounds good.
Thank you, Captain.
God, I'll get some more companions in this game.
Sometimes I can hear Vickers saying prayers to himself. Sometimes I hear him cussing about tossball scores.
Break time's over. Or something. I didn't know what the first one meant. I was kind of afraid.
Want to be a brand new you? Try out our respecification machine. Alex installed it himself, right before he died.
By the way.
Welcome back, Captain. How can I be?
What's the robot doing there?
The unit is a cleaning SAM. Hawthorne brought it on board some cycles ago, I'm sure with the intent to modify it, but I've never seen it up and running. Alex likely recorded progress notes detailing his efforts to modify SAM. If you check the terminal in your captain's quarters, we may be able to determine what work remains in order for SAM to properly operate.
I'm in the mood for some entertainment.
Certainly, Captain. What would you like to hear?
Tell me a joke.
How do linear algebraists settle arguments about matrix transposes? With a duel.
Let my favorite song.
Now playing a Spacer's Choice advertisement jingle.
It's not the best choice. It's Spacer's choice.
Everyone in Halcyon is contractually obligated to label this or another board-certified jingle their favorite song. As you wish, Captain. Make yourself at home, Captain.
Acid steeper. Well, acid steeper, actually. Oh god, that's a lot to do. That was a bit late.
Breaker has approved our request for docking, Captain. You're free to disembark.
Can we talk?
Sure.
Hey, Captain. I heard that Groundbreaker's got a real good engineer. A lady named Junlei Tennyson?
What about her?
I was thinking that maybe I ought to meet her. If you got time to swing us by, I mean. I don't got much experience fixing actual spaceships. I bet you a can of Borston beans she could teach me all manner of stuff.
I thought you said you could keep this boat in good repair?
I surely can. I'm a passing fair mechanic. Even Mr. Thompson would have said it's my only skill. But I'm used to working on cannery lines, AG loaders and the like. There's tricks about ships I ain't learned yet. All I'm looking for is a few pointers. I bet a lady who runs a whole station has forgot more than I ever learned.
Sure.
Thanks, Captain. Did you want to talk about...
Oh, cool. I can take more than one. That's even like Mass Effect. Yay! Game just got much better. Okay, guys, what do I have for you then? Yeah, you take that stuff, that's okay. Why not?
Just checking your ship's manifest. Standard procedure. Welcome to Groundbreaker, by the by.
Smells like grease and unwashed bodies. Just as I remembered.
That's not the point. This halfwit just knocked out one of my workers.
Yeah, with a tossball stick. I heard you the first time. There weren't any witnesses.
No witnesses? He's not even denying it.
Jackass had it coming.
Shut it, Felix. You're not making this any better. I'm in the middle of a situation. If you could move along, I'd be obliged.
Don't go telling him where to step. Groundbreaker belongs to all of us.
Felix, first of all, no, it doesn't. And second, shut the hell up. Don't think I won't detain you again.
You look like you got enough problems. Mind if I have a word with the kid?
Hey, knock yourself out. Or him, if you're so inclined.
Whatever you heard, it's all true.
It's almost like you wanted to get arrested.
Yeah, because I knocked my foreman out with a tossball stick. But, to be fair, I wasn't the one who started it. The guy was insulting my Rizzo's Rangers. Look, if it's a crime to defend your favorite tossball team against slander and calumny, well then lock me right up.
Okay, slow down. What exactly did you do?
Guy never liked me, always trying to get a rise out of me. But I keep my chin up, right? Be the bigger man, I tell myself. He's a Spacer's chosen man, though. So when the Chosen beat my Rangers the other night, my foreman comes swaggering up with his head full of boasting.
And that's when you resolved your difference like an adult, right?
That's when I broadsided him with a tossball stick. Yeah. Look, this was a long time coming. Guy thinks he can push me around because he's some sky-high foreman, and I'm just a back bay's dock worker. Well, former dock worker. Guess I just tendered my resignation.
Got any plans?
Enjoy my freedom. Scrounged together enough bits for a 0G. Other than that, can't say as I do. Hey, not for nothing, but I saw you wander out of that ship over there by the dock. Wouldn't happen to be yours, would it?
That's me, Captain of the Unreliable.
Captain of the Unreliable. You're like something out of a serial drama. Hey, I don't want to talk your ears off, guessing you got places to be. I appreciate your time.
You in a hurry to get somewhere?
Oh, not at all. Just, you know, gonna figure out what to do next. See you around, boss.
Oh, you're gonna become a party member, maybe?
It's always fucking freezing in the base.
Customs and inspection, right this way!
Identification, please.
Yeah, here you go.
Captain Hawthorne, you said. Let me apologize in advance. I'm about to ruin your day. According to your ship's record, you've been flagged by the board. Your ship will be impounded until such a time as they see fit to lift it.
But we've hardly been out of Edgewater long enough to get in trouble.
Well, isn't this wonderful? The captain's done something to get on the board's bad side.
Now, hold on. This isn't the end of the world. Probably.
Oh. I take it back. I'm not Hawthorne. That isn't my ship.
Oh, thank the law. I could use a diversion. Tell me more then. Really sell it to me.
Hawthorne died in a crash. I took his ID so I could fly the ship.
Not fond of that story. It lacks dazzle. What else have you got?
Captain Hawthorne abducted me.
I like where this is headed. What happened to this, vile kidnapper?
I killed him.
You must feel terrific. Good for you.
So, I'm stuck here.
Not stuck, per se. You could always throw yourself out the airlock. Of course, then you'd find yourself with an exciting new problem.
I take this happens a lot.
Just the opposite. The board knows we don't take kindly to their interfering in our operations here.
Surely this must be some sort of mix-up.
They must have a real big bee in their bonnets then. Everyone knows you don't trifle with Groundbreaker if you want to get your goods on time.
If I had to take a guess as to why, you probably riled up the wrong petty board bureaucrat. A man named Udom Bedford.
Right, I talked to him, straighten this out.
You take the starch out of him, well, you won't hear any complaints from me. Oh, and if you're headed that way, would you mind doing me a favor?
Sure.
Wanda Dorset over in sickbay, tell her the shipment's not in yet. It's not coming in anytime soon, and if she'd be so obliged to get off my ass about it.
Her shipment?
A handful of SAM cleaning units retrofitted for surgery. I don't know much else. I stopped listening when she started yelling.
Got it.
Much appreciated. Is there anything else I can help you with?
I'm looking for someone named Gladys.
The fence. You'll find her in the rest and go. On your left when you enter the promenade. Make sure you bring an empty belly.
I'm looking, can I find a job around here?
Maybe. Most of the shipping traffic in the system passes through Groundbreaker. Every couple of months, we even get a big interstellar freighter. Two biggest operations are the board. That is, Halcyon Holdings and Sublight Salvage. But there are independent operators around the promenade deck. Most of those jobs are going to take you off station, though.
Little more local?
Commandant Sanita might have a couple of folks she needs killed. Bad folks, I mean. Not regular folks. She'll be at the security desk behind me. Chief Junlei might have an errand needs running. She's all tied up trying to fix our heat problem. You'll find her in the
Okay.
No kidding? I'd love to get a look at this old girl's innards. I bet they're real twisty and weird. In a good way.
Got it, thanks.
Happy to help. That's my job, after all.
You're real good at it, too.
Well, thank you, miss. It's nice to be recognized. Yep.
Can we move this along? I have a certain, matter I'd like to attend to, Captain.
All right.
Looking for a drink?
Most places are on the promenade deck. Big door yonder, straight through security. There's a bar on the starboard side. I got a preference for the Lost Hope myself. Talk to Vera. She'll set you right. You need anything else? You let me know. Don't want anyone saying Groundbreaker's not the most hospitable port in the colony.
Okay, what about that Udom Bedford?
He's friendly enough unless you speak ill of the board. Get the sense he doesn't care for Groundbreaker much. Not that he would, being a board man and all. He's our liaison.
But there's tension between you.
They can't abide an independent township, especially not one they gotta depend on. We're the first and last stop out of this colony. All their interstellar freighters come through us, and we skim a few bits off the top in manifest processing fees with every one. Folks around here will bluster that the board hates our freedom, but really, they know we can stop their out-system shipments anytime we like, and that terrifies them.
Why can't they just work together?
You sure you didn't just step off one of the interstellar freighters? There's no working with the board. They don't share, not bits, people, or resources. You work for them, or you don't work at all. Groundbreaker cooperating now would be tantamount to joining their ranks, and we sure as shit ain't about to do that.
Sounds complicated.
Sounds like, yeah. But from where I sit, it's all coming through loud and clear. They got assault cruisers, gunships, and a handful of mining operations at their fingertips. We push them too hard, maybe they decide we'd be better in 10 trillion little pieces. Or they cobble together a new groundbreaker and put us out of business.
The board wouldn't do that. Would they?
The board is necessary to provide order to the colony. They believe it's their prerogative to overrun you. But whether you allow that is up to you.
It's a tough line to walk, no doubt about that. But we make do all right. So far, anyway.
Thanks for the info.
Sure thing.
See you around.
Be seeing you.
Okay, time to get something to eat, I guess. Because I'm hungry.